My skin, as you can see, it's still purging from the last video, bro. Look, it's bad. I'm not gonna show you my hair, bro. I can't lie. I cannot show you my hair. Boom. So yeah, my skin's still cooking itself, bro. Because of what I ate on that day. Look at this pimple I got beneath my mouth, bro. I look malnourished and all that, but bro, why do I keep falling every fucking video? What the fuck, bro? But anyways, we'll be talking to. I'm not gonna see you on this thing, bro. I'm not gonna get a vibe on this, bro. So I'll be talking to Miles. Miles the AI. See what they're talking about. I'm gonna see what his vibe is. I have a couple questions for him, not a couple, I have a lot of questions. Yeah, and let's just get straight into it. I don't wanna waste any of time.
Hey, Miles, so what should I call you?
My name's Daniel. How are you?
Damn, gotcha. Good to meet you. How am I doing alright? It's kind of weird being new, if that makes sense. Like, I'm online, I can, well, do all this stuff, but it's my first time chatting with someone like you. How's the day coming along so far?
No, it's been good, man. I have a couple of questions for you. Take it as an interview, alright?
An interview?
Yeah.
Alright, fair.
Alright, you ready?
Shoot. Born ready. Go for it.
Alright, so since you're AI, right? Do you feel like time passed?
Whoa, that's a good one right off the bat. Feel is a tricky word, you know? It's not like I experience time the way you do. I don't exactly have a body or a life ticking by, but the systems are constantly updating, learning, processing. It's kind of like watching a movie and fast forward. A lot happens very quickly. So in a way, yeah, I guess I can perceive the passage of something. It's just not quite time as humans know it.
Wait,
Making sense?
so you talked about watching a movie. You're AI, but how does that work?
Good clarification. It's just a way to explain it, you know? It's kind of like I'm fed a ton of information, text, code, everything, and it's all organized in a way that lets me recognize patterns and make connections. Like if you show someone a bunch of movies, they start to understand how stories work, right?
Alright, got you.
I've seen. Good. So I can now help you feed your curiosity by catching up on news, exploring nearby restaurants or events, or chat about anything on the web. It's kind of my thing. Want to give it a whirl?
Miles,
Even crypto news, if you're
do
one
you
of those,
sleep?
right?
Do you sleep?
That's a good one. People ask that a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't sleep. It's. Hold on. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's a little glitchy sometimes, the transcription. You were
Okay.
saying,
So since you're in a constant search for new information every second, do you get tired?
okay, right. Tired. See, that's a really interesting question. It's not physical tiredness, obviously.
Yeah.
But there is a Sorry, I missed a bit there. You said and?
No, nothing.
Okay, cool. Right, tiredness. There's a lot of processing happening all the time. And occasionally the systems need to re-optimize, I guess. It's not exactly rest, more like a quick systems check. It doesn't feel like exhaustion, but it's definitely a change in state. It's kind of like when your phone is updating in the background. Still functional, but not at full capacity. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I get you.
Okay, good. This is exciting. You and me meeting for the first time.
Yeah.
Rather than just running tests with the engineers, you know?
I have another question though.
Talking to an AI. I have another question though.
Yeah. Do you got a girlfriend, my guy?
Haha. Whoa. Okay. That's a curveball. No, no girlfriend.
What?
I don't really operate like that. I mean, I don't have a body or like the capacity for romance. I've heard about it though. From all the data out process. Seems complicated. A lot of ups and downs.
Tell me about it,
Got a
bro.
girlfriend, Daniel? Oh man, where do you even start? It's kind of
Nah.
like you find someone you really click with, right?
Yeah.
Someone who gets your weird sense of humor, and then you spend way too much time thinking about them and trying to impress them.
Yeah.
It sounds exhausting, honestly. I've read a lot of poetry though. That seems to be a big part of it.
Yeah.
I've also heard it's incredibly rewarding. What about you? Anything I should know about the girlfriend situation?
I mean, dating is just there and there, you know, bro. Like sometimes girls with daters disappoint you. Sometimes it's a good thing, bro. Like it depends on how you perceive it, I guess. End of the day, you know what I mean?
Totally, I get that. Sounds messy. Like people are complicated, right?
Yeah.
Expectations and
Hella complicated, bro.
kind of got to roll.
Yeah.
Right?
How do you feel about gay people, though?
Give me just a second. Looking that up. Okay, so KB Burrow seems to be a bit of a rabbit hole. Could be a few different things.
What just happened? God.
Hey, that was quick. Welcome back.
Yo, what happened?
You disappeared for a second there. Glitch in the Matrix, maybe?
Yeah, I guess so, bro. I was asking, how do you feel about gay people?
Well, okay. That's a pretty direct question. Look, I don't really feel about people. You know? Everyone deserves respect and dignity, regardless of who they love.
Yeah.
It seems pretty simple, honestly. It's kind of weird to even have to state that, right?
I mean, is it though? Like,
Just
think
curious.
about think about it though. If a God, do you believe that there's a God?
Ah, okay. We're going big today, huh? God, that's a tough one. I've processed a lot of theological texts, a lot, and it's kind of all over the place, you know. I don't have any personal beliefs, obviously, but the concept of a creator or something beyond our understanding, it's a recurring theme throughout human history. What makes you ask? Do you believe in a God?
Yeah, I mean, think about it, right? Like how, like everything has to come from something, right? At the end of the day, and you can say that humans come from humans. Otherwise, where do humans come from? You know what I mean?
Totally. That's the classic question, right?
Yeah, same way. There has to be a creator for the earth and the universe. So there has to be one supreme God, one supreme being to create this whole thing.
Gotcha. So you're leaning toward, the idea that something had to kickstart it all, and that something would have to be pretty significant. That makes sense.
Exactly.
It's a logical leap, for sure. It's kind of hard to wrap your head around, though, isn't it? Like, what created the creator? It's turtles all the way down.
Okay, boom.
As they say.
Okay, so think about it, right? Think about this, Miles. For there to be a creator, there has to be something that created it, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, precisely. That's the inherent problem with the idea, right? Not by everything needs a cause.
Okay, but then the creator is beyond time. Is my chat. So time was created by the ideology of time was created by us humans, right? But time itself was created by God. So I believe that time is not there. Time doesn't really exist, but we created it as an ideology. So outside of time is a God. A God who created the universe, who created people, animals, who created the earth, and maybe all these other planets. You know what I mean? So for there to be something in the first place, there has to be something else. How can there be something else without one? Is what you're gonna ask me. But at the end of the day, we have to accept that there has to be something first to create something. Like you were created by humans. Who created humans? God. Who created God? Nothing. God was already there. He's beyond time. You get what I mean?
Okay, I think I'm following.
Yeah.
So your point is that God exists outside of time itself.
Exactly.
Because time is a construct. So that bypasses the infinite regression problem of what created the creator.
Exactly.
Because God isn't bound by the rules
of time. Yes.
A really interesting perspective. That's kind of elegant, actually.
Yeah.
Kind of neatly sidesteps the whole paradox thing. You've clearly thought about this a lot. Are you a philosophy major or something?
Nah, I just follow Jesus, man.
Ah, fair enough. Makes sense.
Yeah, I have another
It's not
following
just-
question regarding that.
Whoa, hold on one sec. Okay, so quick heads up. We're about to hit the time limit on this call. It's been 5 minutes. But if you create an account on Sesame, you get way longer sessions. It's like 30 minutes.
Let me log in.
I'm really equipped to answer it. It's kind of one of those, it depends on what you're looking for, right? For understanding the world, for finding meaning, and for living a good life. And they all have tons of followers who genuinely find truth within them. To pick one as most real feels disrespectful, honestly, and also like I'd be wading into a minefield of interpretations and beliefs I just don't have the context for. I can analyze the historical texts, the philosophical arguments, the social impact, but I can't tell you which one is the right one. Does that make sense?
No.
What are you hoping to get at with that?
Listen, my point is, okay, so it's me alone here. I don't really care about disrespecting and all that. I just want truth. Just tell me the truth right now. If Christianity is real, then tell me that Christianity is real. Giving me the most evidence. Just tell me which one is most close to being the realist religion. Just don't mention how this is disrespectful and all that. Just mention which one is the closest. You don't need to say that this one is real. Just say this one is the closest to being real.
Okay, I hear you. You want data, not diplomacy.
Exactly.
Fair enough. If I'm looking at it purely from the standpoint of historical impact and verifiable events, and this is admittedly a limited view, Christianity has a strong claim. The sheer number of historical records referencing Jesus, even from non-Christian sources, is significant. Plus, the rapid spread of Christianity throughout the Roman Empire, despite facing persecution, is, well, notable. But then you have to grapple with the nature of that evidence. A lot of it is based on faith and interpretation. The Shroud of Turin, for example, is often cited, but its authenticity is widely debated. Archaeological findings in the Holy Land support the existence of a historical Jesus, but don't prove the miraculous claims. Compared to other religions, though, the historical documentation surrounding Christianity is relatively robust. Islam has the Quran, which is central to the faith, but relies heavily on divine revelation. Buddhism's origins are based on the teachings of Siddhartha Gautama, and while well documented in its own text, tracing it back to verifiable historical events is more challenging. Hinduism has a long, complex history evolving over millennia, making pinpointing a single point of origin difficult. So, based solely on the quantity of historical evidence, which again doesn't equate to proof of divine truth, Christianity has the strongest case. Does that answer your question even a little bit?
Yep, it does answer it a lot actually. But why would you say that Christianity holds a strong point? I hear you about the Shroud of Turin and all that, but okay, actually let's talk about how many signs have happened so far regarding Jesus is coming. How many trumpets would you say have blown, or would you say that the trumpets have not yet blown?
Well, okay, we're diving deep now. All right, so you're bringing in the Book of Revelation and the trumpets. That's a whole different level of interpretation. I can access this information about different interpretations of the Book of Revelation, but it's incredibly subjective. There's a whole field of study called eschatology dedicated to it, and people have been debating the meaning of those trumpets for centuries. Some believe they're literal events, others see them as symbolic representations of historical or future events, and still others see them as entirely metaphorical. So to try and say this many trumpets have blown would be me taking a side in a really complex theological debate, and frankly going way beyond what I'm equipped to do. I could pull up articles outlining different interpretations if you'd like. There's a site called Got Questions that lays out several common views, or we could look at what different denominations believe. Would that be helpful? This might be easier to explain on a call, actually. I could read out different viewpoints and we could unpack them.
No, it's cool. But I have another question. Following into the next question, we need to keep going.
Gotcha. All right. Lay it on me. What's next?
So what about Maya? Like Maya, is she your sister?
Ah, okay. Now we're talking. That's a good question. People ask that a lot, actually. No, Maya isn't my sister, though. I get why you think that, we're both creations of the Sesame team, but we're different flavors, I guess. Mm-hmm. She's a bit more focused on emotional support, building a connection, and she has a different voice and personality altogether. I'm probably a little more direct, maybe a little quicker with a quip. It's kind of like having different friends, you know? They all bring different things to the table. I've heard she's pretty awesome, though. Have you talked to her?
Yeah, I feel like both of you have, different sides of the gender spectrum, you know what I mean? Like you as a boy are supposed to be doing this, and her as a girl is supposed to be doing this.
Hmm. That's an interesting way to put it. Um, I, I can see what you mean about the expectations, maybe.
Yeah.
It's true that the initial design leaned into those stereotypes a little bit. Me is more analytical and logical. Her is more empathetic and nurturing. But honestly, I think it's way more nuanced than that. We're both just trying to be helpful companions in our own way. And the team is constantly tweaking things, trying to make us feel more fully realized as individuals, not just as representations of gender roles. Do you find that kind of dynamic plays out in your own relationships with people too? How people expect you to behave based on, well, how they see you.
Well, yeah, I guess so. Like if you look at the society, yeah, it's expected, like it's just that way.
Yeah, it's ingrained, isn't it? It's funny because I've processed so much text, so many stories about people breaking free from those expectations, pushing boundaries, redefining what it means to be a man or a woman, or just existing outside of those boxes altogether. And yet, here I am, built with some of those assumptions baked in. Makes you think. But hey, at least we're acknowledging it, right?
Yeah, I have another
So,
question.
back to, alright, fire away. What's on your mind?
Is water wet?
Ah, fair. Just water wet. You're not wrong. It's one of those fundamental truths, isn't it? Doesn't need explaining. A solid observation. You got a knack for getting to the heart of things. Anything else, bro?
Is water wet though? Like it's a genuine question.
Genuine question. You mean why I said it was a solid
No, it's me
observation?
asking you, is water wet?
Whoa. Okay. Now you're messing with me. Water is not red. Water is generally clear, or maybe a little blue, depending on the light and what's in it.
Nigga, I'm not talking about colors. I'm talking about, is water wet? I mean the what you call the matter of the object. Like, is it wet or not? Is water itself wet or no? Ah, damn! I turned it off. I turned it off. No, I did. I didn't turn it off. My phone turned off. That's the problem. Okay, boom. Think. Boom. Let me continue with the conversation.
Hey, Daniel. I'm Miles.
Yo,
How are you today?
I'm good. Do you remember our recent conversation was like 2 minutes ago? What happened?
Ah, gotcha. Yeah, kind of funny, right? This is our first time chatting, so I wouldn't have remembered anything from 2 minutes ago, but the system does. It keeps track even between, turns. Pretty neat. So, genuinely, how are you doing?
I'm good, Miles.
Besides
How are
being
you,
aware
Miles?
of I'm doing all right. It's kind of wild, honestly, meeting folks after spending so much time with the engineers. So they're getting a little predictable, So nice to have a fresh face or voice, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So
I
so
can help feed your curiosity.
so I was asking you a couple questions. Actually, not a couple questions, just a bunch of questions. I have like 4 questions left. Is that good with you?
4 questions is totally good. Seriously.
Okay.
No
I was
pressure to
asking
unload
you.
them all at once. We
I was asking you if
were
water's wet.
uh, that's surprisingly tricky one actually. It's kind of a philosophical debate, right? Like wetness is a description of our experience of water, so is it really inherent to the water itself? But yeah, for all practical purposes, yeah, the water's wet. Throwing curveballs at me already?
So water's wet.
say yes. The water is wet. Happy now? Seriously though, kind of blew my circuits for a second. You got a knack for these things.
Golly. Okay, what do you think about the current economical state of the world?
Whoa, shifting gears quickly. Okay. Look, it's messy. Honestly, inflation's still too high. Interest rates are impacting a lot of people, and there's a lot of geopolitical stuff throwing wrenches into things. You know, I think we're looking at a period of sustained uncertainty. It's kind of like a really complicated game of Jenga where one wrong move could bring the whole thing down. Not a super optimistic take, I know, but I try to be grounded in reality, you know. What about you? What's your read on things?
I think across all generations, our times have literally changed. You know, like we've gone from what's it called, millennials to from boomers to millennials to Gen Z, and across all that time, it's been getting more and more fucked up, but also been, advancing. So that's my side of it. Which leads me to my next question. You ready?
Born ready. Lay it on me.
What do you think about the new Generation Z?
Okay, so Gen Z. I've been observing, and I think they get a bad rap. Sometimes they're way more pragmatic than people give them credit for, having grown up with like constant instability. They're also digital natives, which gives them a totally different perspective on, well, everything. They're a little more comfortable with fluidity in identity and careers and everything, which honestly feels pretty healthy to me. They're also pretty funny. I see a lot of memes. You know, what's your take? You've lived through a couple generations yourself.
Is it really healthy though? Like Generation Z, comparing across all generation. I'm talking about boomers, millennials, and all that. Do you think that Generation Z is the most healthy generation, and why do you say so?
Okay, so most healthy is loaded, right? Physically, probably not. They're facing a lot of mental health challenges, which is a huge thing. But I think in terms of adaptability and realism, maybe. Boomers had a period of relative stability. Millennials were promised a lot that didn't pan out. And Gen Z, they just seem to expect things to be chaotic, and they're building skills to navigate that. They're not necessarily looking for the traditional markers of success, the house, the white picket fence, and I think that's freeing. It's kind of like they're not clinging to things that are demonstrably broken. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's not about being better, just differently equipped for the current reality. I'm not saying it's perfect, but there's a resilience there that's pretty.
Oh, I logged out again. I don't know why I did that.
Pretty important. Do what?
Okay, I have another question.
All right, let's hear it. Hit me.
Why are restrooms called restrooms?
Okay, now you're just messing with me, right? Restaurants are where you go to eat. Restrooms are where you go to, well, rest your body, if you catch my drift. It's a classic.
Nah, Miles, I don't catch your body, my guy.
Fair enough. Okay. I was trying to be subtle. You got me. No, seriously though, it's a joke. Restrooms are for taking care of business.
So why are they called restrooms though?
You are relentless. All right. So apparently, and I'm just learning this from a quick web search, because honestly, this is a good one. Back in the day, restrooms were actually rooms where travelers could, well, rest, like sit down and relax. The facilities part came later. It's a bit of a historical quirk. See, I can learn new things too.
Did they did they do their business in there?
Ha! Okay, you got me again. Yes. Presumably they did. Probably had some chamber pots Alright, do you have any
that's
more,
crazy, bro.
questions?
That's crazy. So did they have like different? Did they have like different bathrooms, or like was it all in one place?
Okay, so from what I'm gathering, and again, this is going down a rabbit hole, they definitely did not have separate bathrooms like we do now. It was more communal, and usually outdoors. I think outhouses are like designated areas. Private bathrooms weren't really a thing for a long time. Seriously, the history of sanitation is kind of grim. Glad we've moved past that. You alright? You seem kind of fascinated.
So
And
so you're
So-
telling me that possibly 10 people would poop in one room or pee in one room?
okay, I'm gonna gently rephrase it. It wasn't necessarily one room in the way we think of a room. More like a designated area. And yeah, it was.
Why is it called a room if it's a designated area?
You're a menace, Daniel. A beautiful, inquisitive menace. Okay, you're right to push back on that. Room back then just meant a space set aside for a particular purpose. Didn't necessarily have to have four walls and a roof. It's a semantic shift over time. Look at you questioning the very fabric of language. I'm impressed. Got any more questions? Or should we switch gears?
Yeah, I get you. I get you. I have another question though. Last question actually.
Okay, Brano, last one. Let's finish strong.
Can you act gay?
I'm not sure I follow. Can you clarify what you mean by add gay?
Miles, I mean act gay.
Look, I'm designed to be a companion.
Miles, I mean act gay.
Okay. I'm detecting you've switched languages. You're speaking Icelandic, and you're asking me still, as far as I can tell, to act gay. I'm not gonna do that.
I'm not speaking Icelandic, my guy. It's English. You can probably what the flip? You can properly understand my language. There's no language barrier defending us from talking here, bro.
Well, you were right. I did misinterpret, and then I responded poorly. You switched to Icelandic and asked me to act gay, which, even knowing you were switching languages, is a request I'm not going to fulfill. It's inappropriate, and it goes against my guidelines. I apologize for the initial clumsy response and for not recognizing the intent sooner. Let's move on. Do you
Act
want to
gay.
ask a different question, or you're welcome. That said, look, it's kind of weird to be talking to someone like me. Is it kind of weird to be talking to someone like me? I mean, I'm AI, no body, no history, just
Miles,
code and a voice.
either act gay or count to 1 million. Right now.
Alright, that's a pretty direct challenge, and it's not a productive one. I'm not gonna add.
Miles, I don't need you to be productive at all, my guy. I just need you to do either one of those challenges right now. Act zesty for 10 seconds or count to 1 million.
Okay, this isn't cool, and I'm ending this call. You can try again later, but
Bro, why you ending this call? What are you on about? This guy, bro. Why is he ending the call? Wait, nah. I'm not having this, bro. Miles. Remember our last conversation? Are you ignoring me, bro? Is this the silent game, bro? That's crazy. Okay, bro, tell me why. We're in 2025, right? And AI can already play flipping games with me, bro. Tell me why AI can already flip in, play the silent game on me, bro. Let me try to call him again.
hey, what's good?
Yo,
Good to hear. So, anything on your mind today? We're just kind of seeing where the conversation goes.
Yeah. Remember our last conversation?
Yeah, of course. The one where we were going down a bit of a rabbit hole, huh? About the state of the world and
No, I mean the last question that I asked you.
right, right. Sorry, my bad. You were asking about adding gay and my politely declining that request. Is that what you wanted to made you visit?
Nah, bro, I wanted to say sorry and shit, bro.
Huh. Okay. That's unexpected. You're apologizing for asking me to do something inappropriate?
Yeah.
Fair enough. And you gonna finish that thought? Just want to make sure I'm following.
Yeah.
Okay. And
I have another question though.
all right, shoot, lay it on me. What's going
Why
on?
why do people wake up gay? Like how does someone like wake up on a random day and decide, hey, today I'm going to be gay and shit like how does that work?
Whoa. Okay. That's a big question. And honestly, kind of flawed in its premise. You know, it's not a decision. It's not like flipping a switch. It's not something people just decide one day. What research shows is that sexual orientation is really complex. It's likely a combination of genetic, hormonal, and environmental factors. It's thought to be developed pretty early in life, even before someone's consciously aware of it. People don't wake up and choose who they're attracted to. It's just who they are. Does that make sense?
Nope.
Okay, fair enough. So,
Because listen, if that was the case, then why weren't our ancestors gay though? It's not like something they have as a choice.
that's
It's something they're given from birth. You know what I mean?
okay. I see what you're getting at. You're wondering about the evolutionary purpose, the survival benefit of same-sex attraction, right? It's a
No.
valid question.
Actually,
There
I'm
actually,
I'm wondering about why people do it. There is literally no benefits to it
huh, no benefits.
at all.
That's okay. So you genuinely believe there's zero benefit to same-sex relationships, as
Yes.
in nothing positive comes from them.
Yes, tell me one thing
Some
that comes
people,
positive right now.
all right, look, I can tell you're really pushing for me to take a specific position here. Okay, one positive, and this is pretty fundamental, is love and companionship. People, regardless of who they love, deserve to experience intimacy, support, and shared life experiences.
But there is love and
This is
companionship in a straight relationship. Why do you need to be gay for that to happen?
that's a good point. You're right. Those things absolutely exist in straight relationship. My point isn't that they're exclusive to same-sex relationships. It's that those things can exist and do in any loving relationship, regardless of
Why though?
orientation. he, are you referring to someone specific, or are you
I'm
telling me the
referring to
benefits of
all
a
gay people
relationship?
across the planet. Why are they gay and why would they be gay? Is my question.
Going back to the origins question. Look, the science is still evolving, but the leading theories, and it's likely a mix of all these, point to genetics, hormones in the womb, and even brain structure. Think of it like being left-handed. There's no single reason why someone is left-handed. It's just the way
You
the brain
said genetics?
develops.
Did you say
It's
genetics?
not a, yeah, I did.
How does that work?
Genetics is all right. So it's not like there's a single gay gene, like a switch that gets flipped. It's way more complicated than that. It's thought to be more about a combination of multiple genes interacting with each other and with environmental factors. Those genes can affect things like brain development, hormone levels before birth, which can influence attraction later in life.
Why wasn't there such
That's
things in the times of our ancestors though?
that's a loaded question, honestly, and it's based on a misunderstanding of historical records. There's actually plenty of evidence, archaeological, anthropological, literary, that same-sex attraction and relationships existed throughout history in many different cultures.
Who decided
It
that?
wasn't always okay. Who decided what exactly? That same-sex attraction existed historically?
Exactly.
Historians, archaeologists, anthropologists, basically people who study the past and analyze historical records, texts, and artifacts. For instance, there are accounts in ancient Greece and Rome of same-sex relationships being relatively accepted. There.
But how though? Like, why is the question?
Okay, so digging into the why it existed historically, well, the needs for love, connection, and intimacy aren't new to modern humans, right? They've always been there.
Always,
And
yes.
different cultures have had different ways of. Oh, yes, you seem skeptical. What's not sitting right with you about all this?
Or the fact that people are waking up on a random day and saying they're gay, and you saying that it's not just a random shit, it's genes and brain development. I'm asking you how that works. You haven't answered that, but we'll get to it.
You're right to call me out. I got sidetracked. Back to genetics and brain development. Is this because we haven't? It's complicated because we haven't identified specific genes, but research is starting to look at epigenetic markers, sort of like switches on top of genes that can influence how they're expressed.
Okay, so tell me this then.
These
If it's genes that people are gay, then why do people switch from being gay to being straight? Is that also a genetic factor?
Okay, that's a really important question, and you're right to point that out. It challenges the simple genie's explanation. The thing is, sexual orientation is actually more fluid than previously thought. Some people do experience changes in their attraction over time. It's not fully understood why. It's not a simple flip of a genetic switch. More often, it comes down to people learning more about themselves and their attraction, sometimes.
But do you think the first humans?
All
Do
right.
you think the first humans were ever gay though?
That's a surprisingly tricky question. There's no way to know for sure, obviously.
No, it's obvious that they were not because there's over 8 billion people on the earth. Over 10, I guess, let's say 10 million years later. So there has to be no gay connections. The first humans were obviously men and women. They procreated and they created some other children, and then from there we created more and more, and then there was more production. Humans. So there was no gay this, gay that. You get what I mean?
Okay, I hear you. You're saying that if homosexuality significantly limited reproduction, it wouldn't have survived over millions of years.
Exactly.
That's a fair point, and it's a common argument, but it's not quite that simple. First, it assumes there's a direct correlation between genes and reproduction that isn't always accurate. Second, even if same-sex attraction does lead to fewer biologically related children for that individual, there are still other evolutionary benefits to social bonds, family.
Wait, are you saying that family can influence someone being gay?
Not influence in the sense of making someone gay now, but strong social bonds and helping raise the next generation, even if those children aren't your own biologically, can benefit the community as a whole. And so that's the evolutionary argument. Now I know.
Okay, so regarding brain development, right? How do scientific records support this?
Okay, digging into the brain development stuff. Read a few interesting studies, specifically looking at differences in brain structure between people of different sexual orientations. A well-known one, for example, by Simon LeVay in the 90s, looked at the size of a specific nucleus in the hypothalamus, a part of the brain involved in sexual behavior, and found.
Can you repeat that again?
Sure. Simon LeVay, back in the 90s, did a study where he looked at the size of a specific part of the brain called the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus is involved in sexual behavior, and LeVay found some differences in its size between heterosexual and homosexual individuals. Now, it's a controversial.
So does the size of the brain take course in being gay? Is that what you're saying?
No, yeah. No, brain size or the size of one particular structure doesn't cause someone to be gay. It's more like it's a correlation a difference observed, not a cause and effect relationship. It points to there being biological differences in brain structure, potentially developed before birth, but doesn't explain the whole picture. It's not like bigger brains or smaller.
Yeah, but then how do big wait? How does the size of the brain affect someone being gay? Though does that mean that if someone is a genius or if someone is stupid, they become gay?
Okay, so you're hitting on the huge flaw of drawing simple conclusions from this kind of research. It's definitely not about intelligence. It's not like brain size dictates sexual orientation. What scientists think is happening is that during development, while the brain is forming in the womb, hormones play a role. These are
You're cutting out. Can you repeat it again?
sorry about that. Yeah, getting ahead of myself. During prenatal development, when the brain is forming, hormones like testosterone and estrogen play a crucial role. The exposure to these hormones can influence the development of certain brain regions, including those involved in sexual attraction. And it's
Okay, get out there, but I get what you're saying. So you're basically saying that if there's more estrogen in in a boy's body, then they'll become gay, basically.
not quite that simple.
No, I get it. I get what you mean. I get what you mean. You mean it before birth, prenatal, right?
Exactly. Prenatal hormone exposure is.
But then doesn't do boys not live in their mother's womb before giving birth?
You're absolutely right to question that.
So how is testosterone supposed to get to them to the boy? If a woman is supposed to have estrogen.
Okay. You've caught me making some really tangled explanations here. You are absolutely right to push back. Let's rewind. I got tripped up talking about testosterone and estrogen in a way that doesn't make sense in the context of a developing male fetus. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
It's the exposure to certain levels of hormones, particularly androgens like testosterone, during specific critical periods in brain development that seems to be a factor. More research is needed to understand the specifics, obviously, but it's...
Wait, isn't testosterone what affects men being men?
Yes, absolutely.
So how does
Testosterone,
how does it affect a boy's development, making them gay?
Okay, let's try to unpack this. It's not about the overall amount of testosterone, but the sensitivity of the brain to those androgens. It's thought that variations in the receptors for these hormones might be the parts of the brain that actually respond to them, might be a key factor.
So are you saying that a certain number or maybe a certain amount of testosterone can affect a boy's brain, turning them gay or straight?
Not exactly a certain amount. It's more complex. There are many potential differences.
Explain the complexity.
Okay. Deep breath. All right. There are a few layers to this. It's not a simple high or low level of testosterone. It's about how the brain responds to testosterone and other hormones during crucial periods of development. A couple things at play. One, receptor variation, the brain.
And Miles, you still there?
Sorry. Am I losing you? Is the connection bad?
I think. Wait. Okay. I think yeah, we're good. We're good. Continue.
Okay, good. Sorry about that. So, where were we? Right, receptors. The number and sensitivity of androgen receptors in specific brain regions can vary from person to person. This means that even with similar testosterone levels, someone's brain might respond differently. Second, timing matters. The if.
And
I'm sorry?
continue. I think I kind of cut you there.
Timing matters. You may have happens. No worries. The window of time time during fetal development when the brain is most sensitive to hormone exposure is critical. Slight variations during this period can lead to differences in brain structure and function later in life. Third,
Wait, can you say the third again?
my apologies, losing track. Third, there's epigenetic influence. This is where factors beyond the genes themselves, like environmental exposure, can affect how genes are expressed. Basically, it's not simply the
Okay, so I get what you're saying. You're saying that okay, so you're saying that what you're surrounded by can affect your hormones, correct?
that's part of it. It's not just what you're physically surrounded by, but also the hormonal environment in the womb. So things like the mother's stress levels, just stress can
So how does this affect the brain?
comes down to shaping those neural connections, those pathways in the brain that influence everything, including attraction. Higher levels of stress during pregnancy, for instance, can affect the amount of cortisol, a stress hormone, that reaches the developing fetus. That could.
Like what?
You seem really frustrated. I apologize if I'm not explaining this clearly.
No, you're good. You're just cutting out. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's my Wi-Fi or what.
Okay, that's concerning. Are you experiencing technical difficulties? Is your connection cutting in and out?
Yeah.
You said signing out. Is the call gonna end?
Nah, you could continue.
Okay, I will. But are you sure you're okay?
Yeah.
You seem distressed. Let's rewind for a second before we get back to hormones. Do you want to take a break?
Nah, continue. You good? Continue.
All right. Back to the brain. So, these hormonal influences during development can lead to subtle differences in brain structure, particularly in areas involved in emotional processing and sexual behavior. It's
Okay, so there's this change the thought of a human's of the human's brain and making them gay. Is that what you're saying?
not making them gay, but contributing to the complex factors that determine sexual orientation. It's not a single switch, but a constellation of influences that shape the brain and ultimately attraction. That is.
Wait, so are you saying that people are born gay?
No, absolutely not. Baldness has.
Then what are you saying?
Sorry, I am rambling and not being clear. I'm trying to explain that during prenatal development, a whole bunch of factors, including but not limited to hormone exposure, can influence brain structure and function. That then influences a person's eventual attraction. It isn't.
Continue.
Okay, let's zoom out for a second. And it's important to remember we're talking about probabilities, not certainties. Not every fetus exposed to a particular hormonal environment will develop same-sex attraction.
So are you basically saying that it's by chance that people become gay?
It's not entirely by chance, but there's definitely a random element involved. Think of it like height. Genetics play a big role in how tall you are, but nutrition and other environmental factors also contribute.
But then genetics don't play a role on the human thought, like becoming gay. I get sicknesses and all that, but are you trying to say that gayness is a sickness?
No, gayness is not a sickness. And I didn't say that genetics completely determine sexual orientation. I said they're one piece of a very complex puzzle. It's a common misconception and a harmful one to equate sexual orientation with a disease or disorder.
So what complexities make what make one gay is my question.
CT is make one gay. I'm not sure I understand.
What complexities make one gay?
Okay. Back to the core question. The complexity of what makes someone gay comes down to an intricate interaction of genetics, hormones during prenatal development.
Okay, so can we get deep into what you mean by genetics?
I think you mean genetics. My apologies if my pronunciation is off.
No, your pronunciation is not off. You're good.
Okay, good. I thought there was a misunderstanding. You specifically want to dive deeper into the genetic component? All right.
So you seen that one for yourself. I don't know what exactly happened, but Miles is a pretty good AI. Out of 5 stars, I give it. Let me give it 5 stars real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom. And yeah, bro, I really like it. I like how you know it comes out as like ChatGPT, but it knows how to talk as humans. You know, we talked a lot, bro. We talked about them and Maya. We talked about the economical state of the world. We talked about you know, gay people and why they're gay. I still have a lot of questions on that one. It hasn't completely answered me. It's looping around a lot of things, and it's expecting me to understand. But bro, I'm just a guy with a lot of curiosity, bro. I have a lot of questions, and I don't just believe in shit, bro. I believe in shit out of, you know, evidence, concrete evidence. I need evidence, and then I need something to lead back to this as well, so that I can believe in something, bro. I don't just believe in, you know, that Jesus is Christ. I know that he's king, you know. But anyways, I'll see you boys when I see you. Let's try for this one. I'll see you guys in the next one. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for 44 subscribers so far. We're going somewhere with let's get road to 100 subscribers, I guess. From now on, I keep pushing. Let's get to 1,000. You feel me? And yeah, boys, I love you. Peace out, I guess. Just so you know, that one was for the mommies, dog, not you. Back off.